Hi everyone, Dr. Dutton here, and I just want to talk about some general chemistry study tips. So although no study guide is going to be provided in the course, anything in bold lettering throughout the PowerPoint slides is a topic, term, or concept that's going to be seen on the test. You want to write down each bolded term, topic, or concept, then listen to the lecture videos and read the textbook to understand that term, topic, or concept more clearly. You want to take notes that will help you easily remember that term, topic, or concept, but you want to focus only on the bolded terms. So there is a lot of extra information provided in the textbook, and sometimes even in my PowerPoints I give some additional examples or some additional context, but on the test you're only going to find those bolded terms, topics, or concepts. You want to make flashcards for every term that you have to memorize. So even though the tests are online, they are timed, so you don't have a lot of time to be reviewing notes or checking resources. You really do have to study all of these terms and memorize them. One of the tools that I like to recommend is Quizlet. So Quizlet gives you virtual flashcards. I use these myself when I was studying for some of my master's degree coursework and even a little bit of my PhD work coursework. But it basically allows you to create these flashcards, and then you can study them on your mobile device, on your computer, wherever you are. You always have access to your flashcards. You can also enter into challenges with each other, and you can set it up to quiz you on things. So it's really useful to make flashcards in Quizlet. You want to complete the homework assignments to strengthen your understanding of the topic or concept. When completing the homework assignments, you always want to show your work. When you write out the steps, it's part of the learning process, and it helps you avoid errors. Sometimes even I, to this day, think that I know an answer and I just write it down and it happens to be the wrong answer. So you definitely want to show your work and then think through, once you have shown your work, think through the steps that you've taken and always calculate twice. So you are allowed to use a calculator. Put it in there twice to make sure that you didn't have any calculator errors. Although your assignments are going to be graded for completion, I will be posting keys along with the assignments after their due date. So once those keys are posted, you want to make sure to go back and look to see if you got the right answers or not. If you didn't get a right answer and you're not sure why, that's when it's time to reach out to me, and you can schedule an appointment with me. We can meet before or after class or by Zoom or whatever works best. You can come by my office hours. That way we can go through the errors and we can talk about them. If multiple people have the same question and you're all not sure, we can even take some class time to review some of the tricky problems so that we can all get on the same page and understand why the answer was the way it was. Complete the lab assignment to help you demonstrate the lecture topic or concept. So the labs, whether you're going to be completing virtual labs or hands-on labs, those are designed to help you think about the lecture content and apply it toward a real-life scenario using actual chemicals or simulated chemicals in the online lab simulators that will help you think about it in a different way. Study your notes and homework assignments prior to taking the module exam. This part is extremely important. I have students all the time that take excellent notes and they're really prepared and they make flashcards, but they don't actually dedicate the time to studying them because they feel like since their tests are online, they're going to have lots of time to just review all their notes and go through and take the exam at their leisure, which ends up not working out. So you definitely run out of time if you take that approach. You have to study. This course is intense, even though it's called General Chemistry. It gives you the basic chemistry knowledge that you need in order to be successful in future science courses, especially in health careers. But you really do need to study. You need to learn these concepts and you need to know them prior to taking the test. It's always recommended that you spend about 2 hours outside of class for every 1 hour in class. Now, in general chemistry, this is designed to have a 3-hour lecture period and a 2-hour lab period. So whether you're taking the lecture online or in person, or the lab online or in person, you can kind of judge the time that way. So this should be about 5 hours in class, so you should anticipate to spend 10 hours each week outside of class working on all of this, including studying time. I find it helpful to create a calendar every week of when I'm going to dedicate time to prepare for each one of my courses. So whether this is the only course you're taking or whether you're taking multiple courses, if you have a calendar like a weekly calendar or monthly calendar, then you can lay out and dedicate some time to studying. When I did this for myself, when I returned from my PhD program, at that time I was pregnant with my third boy. I had two boys at home. I was running the science department, working full time, teaching full time, going to school full time. It was a lot of work. I also wanted to have time with my friends and hang out with my family and that type of stuff. So I really had to figure out where I would fit in time for studying. And it turned out that the only time I had was at night. So I'd put the kids in bed and I'd stay up an extra couple hours. Instead of watching TV or reading a book, I'd just stay up and do my homework for a couple hours each night. So it's up to you to plan out your schedule and your life, but these are just strong recommendations based on my own personal experience and knowing how the brain works and how much time it takes to actually internalize the content that you are learning. Once you've completed the first attempt of your exam, you need to pause and review the questions. So it's going to show you the question, your given answer, and whether it was right or wrong. You want to go back into your notes and assignments prior to taking the second attempt. So you want to really figure out what you did wrong the first time, study again, and then take your second attempt. You never want to take the attempts back to back without studying in between the attempts. If you do, chances are the second time you take it is going to be worse because the first time you're going to get a score. Mentally, it may not be the score that you wanted and you're going to feel kind of down, and once you take it again, you're going to be mentally exhausted, and typically students perform worse on the second attempt when they're taken back to back. You will always get graded based on your highest attempt, so even though you'll be able to see both attempt scores, your highest attempt will be the one that's recorded in the grade book and used to calculate your final grade. So definitely take time in between the attempts. Also, as long as you get your first attempt submitted by the due date, you can wait to take that second attempt until the end of the semester. Some students do that where they only take the first attempt and then right before the final exam, when they're preparing and studying for that final exam, they take that second attempt. And then, it's fresh in their knowledge for when they get into their final exam. You can always access previous test attempts by clicking on the score in the Blackboard Gradebook and then clicking on the score again. So when you click on the score in the Blackboard Gradebook, it's like a blue score. It's a link and it's going to link you to another page. If you have taken one or both attempts, it's going to show you those scores on that second page. And when you click it again, it's going to take you to the actual test. You don't want to access the test through the module. You want to access the test through the gradebook in order to see what the questions were and everything. Your final exam is based on your previous module exams. So having a good, strong knowledge and foundation in those module exams will help you perform well on that final exam. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out, duttonn@gtc.edu. Looking forward to a great semester, and I hope you found this helpful.